think somebody's there. Good morning. Um, Happy Friday. Is it Friday? Yeah, I think it's Friday. Um, so yeah, sorry, I wasn't here yesterday. Um, and I wasn't even like updating stuff. We've had little issue with Verizon uh, the past couple of days. Things slowing down, things not connecting. Um, so yeah, um, some of the I'm not sure that some of the stuff recorded um, on one of the earlier days, and then yeah, and then yesterday, everything was a mess. So um, yeah, who knows what's going on? But we'll just see what happens. But anyway, we're here today, so that's good. Um, so let's talk about um, unexpected things. So, um, what do we do, in unexpected circumstances? Um, this is a good way to test sort of what's going on with you. Um, one of our one of the measures of our sort of well-being um, is our ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Um, so, if we are um, really upset when something changes, that's probably a sign that we may have um, kind of a bigger attachment to that than we thought, or we may it may mean more to us than just what it is, right? Um, Frequently, things represent other things to us. It's not just such a simple comment or simple event or whatever. It has churned up something else that is causing us to have problems beyond just the simple situation that's happening. So, in yoga, right, we have a couple things that we're doing here, right? We are on the search for truth, right? And we're on um, we've accepted the state of being where things change, right? We've already so when you have those two things, um, you really can't stay stuck, right? You've got to move on. Um, so it's okay to feel upset, right? It's okay to be thrown a little bit, right? If things change on you, but we got to move on. We don't stay in that moment. Um, we acknowledge it and we move on. Um, in a yogic sense, right? If everything is one, and if we are all one, then really any outcome is as good as any other outcome, right? Maybe not for you personally, but it's just as valid an outcome. So, um, again, what happens is less important than what we make of what happens. Um, what uh, There could be, an array of different outcomes. What really matters is how do we thrive in each of those outcomes or any of those outcomes. Um, when we can do this, then you are you're getting there, right? You have achieved something. You've achieved um, this path, some of this path, right? Um, it's not easy, right? It requires a lot of um, letting go, a lot of uh, not letting our ego drive um, how we feel. And, um, you know, this can be hard, especially if, this is something that you've arranged, right? So you really set this whole thing up, um, and then it's not working or it's not happening the way you want it to. Um, Again, we can use these tools that we've learned. This idea of gratitude, right? I mean, if you think about it, right, anything that we do is pretty great. We're able to do it. We are able um, to do the things, even if they're chores we don't like, even if um, we have to uh, hang out with some people that we don't like all that much, in purpose of some higher goal or some achievement that you're trying to get to. Um, the fact that you can do it, that we are here, that we woke up this morning, these are all pretty amazing things. We tend to forget that. We tend to overlook that in our pursuit of whatever it is we're going after. Um, so, scaling it back a little, dial it back to start. That's a good place to start, right? I'm here. I'm able to do this job that I wish I wasn't doing. I'm able to interact with these people, even though they're not my favorite people. Hey, I'm doing something. I mean, it's a place to start, right? And then again, right, this idea of agency, right? That we have the ability to do whatever it is we want to do. Um, but, right, every choice comes with responsibilities. So if you want to get to a certain place, you can't skip the steps that you need to take to get there. You may not like the steps. They may be some steps that are very hard or um, really challenging. Um, but there's no avoiding them, right? And there's no point in suffering because of that, right? You chose that path. You want to get to this place, and you're not going to get there until you go through those steps and on that path. So just keep walking. don't don't slow down. Don't give up. Um, if you find that maybe and this happens, right, that you think that your goal is here, and then you get halfway down the path and realize, well, there's another path over here and to another goal. Maybe I'd rather do this. Nothing wrong with that, changing your goals. But remember that, again, we've made this choice. Um, we can't, well, I mean, we can complain, but there's no point in complaining, right? You've got to keep going. You've got to see it through. You are the one that chose your path, and sticking to it is the way you get to where you're going. Um, I think, too often we have goals that we give up on because we don't like what we have to do to get there. Um, that's okay, right? It's okay to do that. What's not okay is to blame somebody else for that or to blame other things or circumstances, right? Um, Good morning, Ruth and Deb. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Kind of, it's cold though. It's been windy, and the front of the house is really cold. The yoga room's in the front of the house, so it gets chilly in here. My son, his room is across from me, my oldest, and he's right on the corner with a lot of windows. His room gets super cold. But he could move out anytime. I keep telling him that if he gets an apartment, he can set the heat at whatever he wants. So, maybe he will. um, so, getting back to what I was saying, you can choose, right? But it's your choice. It's always your choice, right? Take responsibility for that. Own that. It's a power, but it's also a responsibility. So if you want to do something and you realize, well, I really want to do this, but I would need to go to school for like 10 years and I'm already, 50 years old or 55 years old. If I went to school for 10 years to do this and then I had to do this, I think I'd be like 90. I mean, if you still want to do it, do it. But if you look at those things and say, well, that's not really how I think I want to spend the time that I have, there's something wrong with that. You could get halfway through and decide, I'm not doing this anymore. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's your choice. But it's not what anything anybody did, right? It's not anybody else's fault. It's not, it's just the way you choose to spend your time. Um, Nothing is ever wasted, right? We are learning all the time. We are increasing our base of knowledge. One thing leads to another. This is something I have always seen in my life and in the life of people around us, that your path is not straight, but it makes sense. If you look back, you can see a chain of events that led you to the place where you are. It makes a certain sense. And it is the truth that the choices that we've made and the opportunities that we've taken have led us to the place that we are in our life. Good or bad, right? And it will continue. So the choices that you make and the opportunities that you choose to follow will get you where you want to go. Um, it's always our choice. Now, let me put in my you know my caution to this, right, is that clearly many of us don't have the same opportunities as others. There are times in your life when you simply don't have opportunities. Um, there are people and places and times in the world when there was nothing. There were no options. People might have wanted to really pursue something that was completely barred to them. Um, what do you do then, right? Well, you do what you can, right? And you work towards what it is you want to do. Throughout history, if you look, you will see people who have done remarkable things, broken down barriers, allowed and made space for the people that come behind them. Um, it is within our power to be any of those people. Those people weren't born believing that they could do those things. Those people were fighting against massive odds, but they just kept going. Um, they felt strongly, they really wanted to do it. The only difference between those people and us is that they never gave up. So don't ever give up. Just keep going, whatever it is you want to achieve. Um, Even if you don't get to what you think is the end, you'll have achieved something really great. All right, let's do some asana. Um, and we'll achieve something great. Well, as you do your practice, though, think about what you're doing. Think about the poses and um, remember how they may have been very hard and they're easier now. Think about your choice, right? This has all been your choice to do this, to follow this path, to make these advances, in your life, in your body, um, and make a choice today, right? What is it going to be? Are you going to challenge yourself, or is today a day you need to be kind and do less? Um, Not that challenging isn't kind, but you know what I mean. Um, there's space for both things in your life. The trick is listening, right? Knowing which you need for the day. And if you don't get it right some days, that's okay. You can always change speeds. If you go thinking, oh, this is going to be a great day, I'm going to do so much, and you get partly through and no, I feel terrible, I'm too tired, this isn't working at all, then scale it back, right? You get to choose. It's your choice, always. Sitting up tall. Take some deep breaths. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Arms are relaxed. Hands hang heavy. And then chin down toward the chest. Let's move the head around. One way and the other. Back to center. Lean forward. Moving around. One way and the other. Back up to your seat. Let's walk the hands out in front. Back up and then squeeze the shoulder blades together. Easing up. Back to your seat, arms wide. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace your fingers. Lift the hands. We're gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lifting up. And lower. Lift. and lower. Once more, lifting up and lower down. Let's bring the arms up over your head, interlace the fingers, and bring the biceps in close to the ears. Take a breath, kind of lifting through the body, and then folding a little to the right. Back to center. Breath in and fold to the left. Back up, we're going to gaze up and then maybe bring the hands back a little bit. And then hands back to center. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind, sit up tall, and a twist. Back to center, switch. And back to center, tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Moving back up. Let's do a few sets. Cat-cow, loosening up through the spine. And then back into child's pose. Maybe bring the knees a little wider for this one. You could stack the fists if you want. Rest the forehead, or you could set the forehead down on the mat. Coming back up, We're going to swing this right leg around. So we're coming up on that left knee. Make sure you have the foot out far enough out to the edge so that you feel stable. Sometimes, we bring that foot right up and then we're kind of tippy, right? Arms up overhead. And then bring hands to center. Take a deep breath and a twist. So maybe hooking the elbow here, or you could be more upright, pulling that right shoulder back. Back to center. Right hand down by right foot. Left arm lifts. And then both hands down to the mat. Maybe walk the hands out a little. Getting in a good place for a little lizard, not a giant lizard, maybe like a chameleon or something. And then we're going to walk the hands back. So we're straightening out the right leg. And then we might fold over. Set the foot down and we'll swing it around again. Back into child's pose. Maybe do a different thing. So if you didn't stack your fists before, you could do that. Or maybe bring the arms behind. Moving back up. We're swinging left leg around now. Arms up overhead. And then hands to center. Take a breath and twist. Back to center. Left hand down. Right arm lifts. And then both hands down to the mat. Breathe. And then walk the hands back. We're straightening out the left leg and fold over. Set your foot down, swing the leg around, and then we're back to child's pose. Maybe knees together. If you don't normally have the knees close, try that. Making your way back up. We're going to come up on the knees, setting up for camel. So if, you might want the knees a little bit apart, especially if you had them right close for your child's pose. Just a natural amount apart so that you feel nice and, supported. Shoulders back. We can bring the hands. So we've got the fingers pointing toward the body, right? That's one way to do it. You can also do it with the hands facing down, right? Fingers pointing down. Or you could make fists and press them. But we're pushing in sort of below the hips a little. Squeeze the shoulders back. Take a deep breath. And then we're just leaning back. Come on back up. Tabletop again. And then let's just come to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. We're sitting up tall. And then hinging from the hips. Just moving the body forward. Come on up. We're going to have the left leg under to start, so the knees pointing away from you, and then that right leg comes on top as much as you can, feeling some stretch here, and then folding. Back up. Let's move everything around. So the right is underneath and left on top. This one's always trickier for me. I don't know if, I think this side is a little looser than the other, so getting this leg over to the right place where I feel stretch is trickier. Come on back up. Let's unravel the legs, extend them out, point and flex. Rotate. One way and the other. And then we're going to bring the legs back in. So kind of the same thing. We've got the right leg in front. We're not going to bring it with the knee pointing out, though. We're just going to bring it so the shin is sort of facing the front. And then we've got that right knee bent and the foot is behind. If this is hard, right, you can keep the foot out some. If you can't bend this knee in this position, you can just sit with the leg extended. That's fine too. Right. So we are sitting here. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind you. Sit up tall. Take a twist. Back to center. And now everything goes the other way, right? So we've got the right leg with the shin pointing out, then that left knee sitting up tall, and then left hand on right knee, right arm behind, sit up tall and twist. Back to center. Extend both legs out in front. Point and flex. Rotate one way and the other. Take a deep breath, arms overhead, and then fold forward. And back up. Point and flex. Rotate one way and the other. And then bend your knees. Soles of the feet to the mat. Let's lower down. Relax and breathe. Hug that right leg in. Left leg extends long. And then release it. Switch legs. Extend both legs again. Take a couple breaths. Then bend the knees. Soles of the feet to the mat. Right ankle on top of left knee. Moving into whatever version of pigeon, supine pigeon you like. So we've got, the one where the foot is on the ground. We're maybe pressing that knee away. That might be enough for today. If you want more intensity, bring that left leg in. Keeping the feet flexed in this pose is a good idea. It keeps the muscles active, and it keeps the knee, the muscles and things surrounding the kneecap active, so things aren't like loose. Maybe your kneecaps are never loose, but mine are. So I like to keep some flex in the feet. And then set back down, switch. Keep breathing. And then set everything back down. We're going to get ready for bridge. We're going to do a regular bridge and then a supported bridge. So we've got heels back, close to the body, hands by your side, press down, hands and feet, lifting up. lower back down. And then we've got our block. So you lift up, find a good place to rest, relax, let the body sink down onto the block. Lifting up, press back down on the mat. Soles of the feet together, relax and breathe. And from here, we're going to move right into Shavasana. So you could rest just like this, or you could extend the legs, whatever feels comfortable for you. Getting into a place of relaxation for Shavasana. Focus on the breath and the sensations in the body. Release any thoughts that come up. So throughout practice, we're working to kind of release thoughts as they arise, but it can be, I think, a little harder when you're trying to pay attention to what's going on and everything. So Shavasana is really a good time to practice that skill of letting go of thoughts. So our life can be our own private hell, or it can be our own version of heaven. It really depends on how we want things to go. What kind of thoughts are we going to hang on to? Are we going to torment ourselves with judgments about our past, things we have done or did not do? Or are we going to look to the future? Are we going to work to improve, to get on a path that brings us joy and happiness? It's within our power to do either thing. So choose carefully and follow follow your path, right? You feel like it may be hard, but it really is just one step at a time. If you can get through today, then we'll work on tomorrow. Moving fingers and toes, making your way up to a seat. We'll bring hands together. Breath in, breath out. Thank you for taking time this morning for yoga, for bringing yourself to the mat and practicing, no matter what. I hope you have a lovely Friday. Namaste. Okay, meditation. Let's do it. Keep that peaceful state of mind. Comfortable seat or stay on the mat. You know, if you want to lay on the mat, I'm not gonna be able to see you. And even if I did, I wouldn't mind. It's fine. Whatever you want to do. This is your meditation, your practice. So we're holding that calm breath, eyes closed, relaxed state of mind. Breathe. Okay, we're back. Hopefully that was a peaceful and enjoyable 5 minutes for you. Sometimes it goes fast, sometimes it drags a little, but it's always just 5 minutes, which is amazing to me. Okay, well, enjoy your Friday. I will be here tomorrow. But if I don't see you, have a great weekend. And I don't know, we're back to the coldish weather. But hopefully it'll be sunny, so we'll enjoy that. See you later.